Buenos dias. We are on our last subobjetivo of the whole unit, and it's puedo hablar de los quehaceres de otros miembros de mi familia. So we've been talking about what chores you do. Now you're going to talk about how other people in your house help out. Nice little funny. Ya limpié la casa, entonces si pudieran dejar de vivir aquí, sería bien bueno. All right. ¿Cómo ayudan los miembros de tu familia? So we learned last week, in the last couple of weeks, yo lavo los platos. And you guys are getting more comfortable with that, saying what you do. Remember, we change the verbs, we end them with an O to say yo, things that we do. But what if it's your hermanita? What if it's your little sister? You'd see mi hermanita lava los platos. Instead of lavo, lava. I wash, she washes. In English, our verb changes too. We add an ES when we're saying that she does something. We don't think about it in English, it comes naturally. And eventually in Spanish, it will come naturally for you too. So let's remember this big word, conjugating, conjugate. Conjugating verbs means changing the ending of the verb based on who is doing the action. So our base form, we call it cocinar with an AR. I cook, we change the AR to an O. She cooks. In English, we add an S. In Spanish, we change it to an A. You'll see that there are more changes to the verb in Spanish than in English. And so for English, that can be a little confusing, or at least it takes more getting used to. But know that in English, we do it too. Okay, so first we're going to review los pronombres. So we've got the yo, tu. These are things that you learned in 1A. We've been reviewing them a little bit here in 1B. But I like to put them in this chart. And on this side is singular, one person. And on this side is plural, more than one person. So we've got the I, just myself. I with somebody else is going to be nosotros, we. Tu is just you. Over here, we always leave this blank. It's the you all in Spain. They only use in Spain, so we're not going to use that. When we say you all, it'll sound formal in Spain, but it's how we'll use it in our class. We'll do the Latin American version. So usted in the plural would be ustedes. El in the plural would be ellos, or ella would be ellas. So we've got the you guys and the they. Okay, so I like to put them in this chart again because on this side is one person. On this side is more than one person. If you can remember the meanings of these words and you can remember this chart, it will help you when you go to conjugate verbs. So let's look into that. There are some other things we can do with the pronombres. Remember, if it's mi padre, it would land in this kind of a category. It's one person and it's a he. Patricia is one person and it's a she. So if you wanted to say she instead of Patricia, just know this is where it would land. Nosotros, another thing you could say to clarify is mis padres y yo, my parents and I. Mis padres, if you're talking about my parents, it would land in this category, the they, right? Mi hermana y Julia, so my sister and Julia, that would be like a they, and it would also land in this category. So sometimes people get confused. They remember what the Spanish word is, but if we're talking about real people and using real names, they get confused. But hopefully this will help clarify that. Okay, so in languages, we conjugate verbs, or we change the ending based on who is doing the action. In English, it can look like I cook or she cooks. We add an S. In Spanish, we change the ending of the verb to. In I cook, we say cocino. And she cooks, we change the ending, we say ella cocina. So there is a pattern you can learn to help you know which ending to put on a Spanish verb. You will take the AR off the end of the verb, and if you're talking about yourself, you'll use O. If you're talking directly to someone, you would take the AR off and put an AS. So this is the song I make you sing in class. O, as, a, amos, an. And these are going to be really helpful when we talk about our family. My mom does a chore, we'll be using this ending, she. My mom and I do chores, will be this almost ending. My parents do chores, they do chores, we'll use this ending. So these are going to be the extra helpful ones, okay, when you're describing what your family members do. So for example, mi mamá lava los platos, there's a she, y cocina la comida. If it was me, I would say yo lavo los platos, yo cocina la comida. Mi mamá y yo, we lavamos, we use the amos now. It's not just my mom, it's my mom and I. So that's a we. Lavamos los platos y cocinamos la comida. How about if it's mis padres? They, mis padres lavan los platos y cocinan la comida. Mis padres would land in this they category. Okay, now there's a pattern for ER verbs too. In this unit, we don't have very many ER verbs, but it's very similar. Instead of o, as, a, it's o, es, a, hemos, en. Makes a lot of sense. The E, we're going to use E's instead of A's. Okay? So for example, mi hermana barre el piso, from the verb barrer, meaning to sweep the floor. If it's mi hermana y yo, it would be barremos el piso, we sweep, and mis hermanas barren el piso, they sweep the floor. Okay, IR verbs, we don't have any IR verbs in this unit, but for your information, reminder, IR verbs, we're going to use the same ending as the ER verbs, except for the we form will be imos. So if you were to be asked, ¿cuáles son las responsabilidades de los miembros de tu familia? What are the responsibilities of the members of your family? Or ¿cómo ayudan en tu casa? How do they help in your house? This would be my answer. En mi familia, yo lavo la ropa. Mis hijos y yo guardamos la ropa. So we're changing the ending based on who is doing the action. Mis hijos y yo would be an amos. Mi esposo, he, cocina. Mis hijos guardan los platos. Yo lavo los platos. Isaac limpia los baños. Caleb arregla la sala. Camille barre y trapea el piso. Y todos nosotros, all of us, trabajamos en el jardín. And you will be expected to do a nice long paragraph also explaining what the different members of your family do. Okay, so hopefully that will help with your notes. If you have questions, please ask. And buena suerte. Good luck.